All right, sum of difference identities for sine and tangent. Okay, all this other stuff that we did was all cosine, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was all cosine. Now today it's going to be sine and tangent. Tangent's a pain. I try to avoid that. I don't want to mess with that. Okay, so we're going to go through and do a lot more with sine, but yes, there is one or two of tangent you're going to have to do. So deal with it. All right. So sum of difference identities for sine. So if it actually comes out like this, it's going to be like this. So sine A cosine B, and then plus cosine A sine B. So here it is. So you're going to find this slide. This is the one that you're going to like star, highlight, put little hearts around, all that other stuff that you weirdos do. All right, so if you notice, cosine, it changes sign, didn't it?
Yeah.
This one does not. Okay? But it goes sine, cosine. So sine A, cosine B. Cosine A, sine B. It's just a pattern. You guys got to know the pattern. Okay, here's tangent. Because we know tangent is sine over cosine, right? Yes?
Yeah.
But since we know that sine over cosine, so we have the formula for sine, and we have the formula for cosine. So we can go through and do the work for this to actually come out with a actual real working version for tangent. So if I did this for sine, okay, I'm just going to go through this. You guys don't have to do this, but it is possible. So it's going to be, so this would be sine A cosine of B, and that's going to be plus cosine of A sine of B all over cosine of A cosine of B minus sine of A sine of B. So we go through and actually trying to find all those together. So there's a lot that goes along with this, and we can. Hey, you got it. All right, so we can go through and actually find this out. It expands. We use different identities. We can work it to the point where we come up with an actual tangent formula. So you guys don't have to know that. I'm just saying tangent's just sine over cosine. So it's two that we know to get one that we don't know. So it comes out like this. Okay, here's my two tangents. One for a plus, one for a minus.
I don't like that.
Okay. Either way, like it or not, it's going to be on your reference sheet, so you don't have to memorize it, but you have to know how to get it, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a reference sheet maybe Monday. I think that's when I plan to. So after we go through all these identities and all these formulas, I'm going to give you guys a reference sheet so you guys could actually go back and be like, okay, that's where it is. Okay, here's tangent formulas. Okay, find the value of sine 75. First, what two numbers are going to give me 75?
That one number and that other number.
45 plus 30, right? Okay, so now in this case, my A is 45 and my B is 30. Okay, from my sine formula, it's going to be sine 45 cosine of 30 plus cosine of 45 and sine of 30. I took this is straight from that formula, right? Straight from that formula. I just plug those in where they go. Now, what do I need to actually do the next part of this?
Circle thingamabobber.
Your unit circle, right?
Yeah, that thing.
Okay, we need the unit circle for this to be able to actually get this.
Square root over 2.
Yeah, that's me.
You have your damn phone, boy. Shut the fudge up.
Cosine 30? Rad 3 over 2.
Rad 2 over 2. Wait, plus rad 2 over 2.
Yeah, and sine 30.
1/2.
All right. So my answer is going to be what?
6 plus 6. Wait, oh yeah. 6 plus rad 2.
All over?
Rad 4.
There we go. Because the common denominator is going to be 4, right? I just kind of skipped that step. And I already knew that it's going to be common denominators, right? Yes? Okay.
Turn on the fan.
Yeah.
That's hot. Tangent of 7. Oh, God.
Okay. Tangent of 7 pi over 12. So, what's the first thing you should do? Not yet. Wait till I'm done with this.
Convert it to
Radians to degrees, right? So, I'm going to multiply this one by,
105 degrees.
it's going to be 180.
Yeah, 180 over that, and then scratch the pi out and get 180 divided 7 divided by 12 times 180, and that gets you 105.
105,
Or you can just put 7 over 12 times 180.
which is 105. So, that's going to help me out. So, in degree mode, this is actually, you get the same answer. Radian or degree, it's the same numerical answer. So, either way, it doesn't really matter. So, if it's easier here, then fine, do it. And it makes the most sense. So now we know that what two numbers are going to give me 105?
60 and 45.
So tangent of 60 plus 45. So now, this is a plus. Here's my A. Here's my B. So now, if it's a plus sign, so I'm going to go back a little bit, okay? So tangent, so I'm using a plus sign here, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be tan A plus tan B over 1 minus tan A tan B. So tan of 60 plus tan of 45 all over 1 tan and times tangent of 45. All right?
How do you solve that?
Okay. It's actually not that bad. So we know tangent. Okay, tangent should be the sine over cosine, right?
Yeah.
Sine over cosine. So go find 60, please.
3 pi is square root of 3 over 2.
So the sine is going to be square root of 3 over 2. What is the cosine?
1 over 2.
And what do I have to do with those values? I can't leave fraction over fraction. Multiply by the reciprocal, right? So it is going to be equal to rad 3 over 2 times the reciprocal of the bottom. 2 over 1, right? So what do we get? Just rad 3, right? So I know wherever I'm going to put tan 60, I'm replacing it with rad 3. So tan 45. Rad 2 over 2.
Yeah, right. 2 over 2 over 2.
Which is going to give me, same top and bottom is going to give me 1, right?
Well, this is actually somewhat easy.
So now, if you notice, I went off to the side to actually do this math first. Now I know what I'm going to plug in. So every place that says tan 60, I'm plugging in rad 3. If it says tan 45, I'm plugging in 1. So let's do that. So it's going to be rad 3 plus 1 over 1 minus rad 3 times 1, right?
So do we have to...
Yes, I do not like having radicals in the denominator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the special thing called to actually get that radical out of the denominator?
Put it on the top and bottom.
Rationalize, but I have to multiply by the, not the reciprocal in this case. The what? Conjugate. Very good. Conjugate. Because there's a binomial here, it's a 1 minus rad 3. Right? It's a 1 minus rad 3. So I can't just do, the rad 3 part. I got to do it all. I got to do the whole denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 1 plus rad 3 over 1 plus rad 3, right? And when I do this, I have to do my distribution. I have to FOIL this. So I have to FOIL this answer. So it means the first, outer, inner, last in my multiplication. So now let's go ahead and multiply first. So that's going to give me what? Rad 3 times 1? Rad 3. Rad 3 times rad 3. Plus 3. Very good. Now it's going to be 1 times 1. 1 times rad 3. Oh, I'm sorry. The 1 didn't show up. All right. All that's going to be over. Okay. Now the next one. As I multiply, so it's the 1 times 1. 1 times positive rad 3. Negative rad 3, because that's a minus, right? Negative rad 3 times 1. And rad 3, so negative rad 3 times positive rad 3. Negative what? 3. Very good. So negative 3. Because the rad 3 times the rad 3 is going to cancel out my radical, but it's still a positive and a negative together, so that is going to make it a negative. All right, now let's go ahead and clean up the top.
What about the one at the end? What about the one at the end?
What one at the end? Oh, what's 1 times rad 3?
Rad 3.
Just rad 3. So I just disregarded because it's just rad 3 there.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I was like, okay, that's just rad 3. That's why I just did conjugate of this. I ignored the 1 because 1 times anything is itself, right? Yeah, that's what I was getting at. All right, so on top. So let's start with my A plus B rad. Baldy, Martha, and Isaac. Ooh, yes. Can we grab these, please? No, it's not. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead on the top. What is my... Hey, listen, please.
I wasn't coloring.
Do you guys mind? No, not yet. Let's start with the whole numbers first. What's my whole number? 3 plus 1 is 4. So I'm going to have 4. Now, rad 3 plus rad 3. 2 rad 3. I have 2 of them, so plus. On the bottom, what's going to happen to my middle terms here? Those cancel, right? So now I'm left with 1 minus 3, which is negative 2, right? Negative 2. So we could actually separate this. So we could actually have 2 whole answers on this. Not 2 whole, but 2 numbers separately. So right here it would be a negative. So I'm sorry, it's going to be 4 over negative 2, which would give me what? Negative 2, right? Okay. And the next one's going to be positive 2 rad 3 over negative 2. I separated my fractions so I could actually divide each term by that number. Or you could have just factored out a 2 from the top and then canceled. Either way, it's the same thing. Questions on that? Hopefully it's not too bad. So I think I still have to do one more here. Okay, so now, right here. Find the exact value of this. Now, this is the expanded form. What are my 2 numbers? What is my A? What is my A number? 40. What is the B number? A and B. So now, which formula does this look like? So it would be A minus B, right? This would be the sine formula, so I'm going to put a sign here, right? And this minus sign right here is going to tell me that in between these two, I have a negative, so it's a minus sign right here, right? Yes? Because in sine, if this is a minus sign, this is also a minus sign, right? So put those two together. So it's going to be sine of negative 120. All right, so is negative 120 on my unit circle? Say no. No, we only have positive numbers on my unit circle, right? So I could either go backwards or I could use the coterminal. Remember coterminal? The same end. So to get to coterminal, what would I do here? Add 360, right? You guys remember that? So to be on the same spot on my unit circle, I need to add 360. So if it's over 360, I would subtract. If it's less than 0, I add. So let's go ahead and add 360 to this. So it's going to give me what? Sine at 240 degrees. Now, sine at 240, that's on your unit circle. What is it?
Negative 1 over 2. Negative at 2 over 2.
Because sine is the y value, right?
Yeah.
You guys agree? Did I lose everyone? I lost you? Okay, what part did you not like? Hey, what part did you not like?
I think the green.
You're good? Oh, agreeing. Are you okay? This is easy, right? Okay. No, maybe.
How'd you get 240?
How'd I get 240? All right, someone help him out. What did I do to get 240? Add 360, right? Where'd 360 come from?
You get it from being negative.
You added 360 because we need the coterminal, right? Coterminal. So if I have a negative number and it's not on my unit circle, I add 360 so I can get it on my unit circle. That's what I want. I want my numbers to lie inside the unit circle. Are we okay?
Yeah, I understand it.
All right, good. I think that one's it. I don't think we have another one of
I
those.
want to go to sleep.
Okay, so you guys got problems? Yep, you do. And